It's called the Rock Round Attack. A lot of you guys don't know about the Rock Round Attack, but a lot of you do. End that Rock Round Attack.
Tell us a story.
Hey, listen up. I got a story to tell. Benson, you got it, Benson? I know he's broken this whole. It's from the rock side. We have to leave now.
Stop texting me! Set me free!
And when you are in the world so legal, remember the rock crowd, and they're easy players. Take your money. It's a one-big land. We're not going to take it. Yeah. Not going back. Try to take the tools back.
Stop texting me! Set me free!
Yeah. In the bed. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Oops. Where am I? Am I here? Where am I? I'm here. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Impact Money Show. We're broadcasting live from Washington, D.C., where the weather's giving us a crisp 48 degrees Fahrenheit. This April 1st, 2025. It's a little chilly for spring, but no precipitation. Let me drop this thing down there. Boom. Just 58% humidity and a breezy 15 miles per hour wind rattling the cherry blossoms. It actually cooled down overnight very nicely. It's 6:09 a.m. here on the East Coast. And while the skies are clear here in the capital, the financial world's brewing a storm. We're just hours into this Tuesday, and the news cycle's already heating up. Trump tariffs are ticking down to tomorrow's big reveal. Markets are twitching, and the headlines are flying from Taiwan to Gaza. Buckle up, because we're diving into the money moves that make or break your week. Let's get to it. Since about 5 a.m. when I started digging into this morning. The wires are still waking up, but here's the rundown of what's crossed my desk overnight. International tensions are spiking. China's launched massive military drills around Taiwan, calling President La Ching-te a parasite and framing it as a stern warning against separationism. I don't know if you guys have been to Taiwan, but those people, they're not too fond of each other. And the Taiwanese, we ain't Chinese, man. They still think that they still say that they are the legitimate government of China. Pretty interesting over there. I recommend everybody travel as much as possible. Taiwan is not blinking, deploying warships to keep watch, and the region's on edge. Over in Myanmar, a devastating earthquake over the last few days pushed the death toll past 1,700 now, with 3,400 injured and 300 still missing. Rescue crews are sifting through the rubble where a monastery collapsed, claimed 200 monks. Closer to home, U.S. politics is a circus. Trump's administration is flexing with new executive order signed yesterday alongside Kid Rock, cranking down on ticket scalping. While his third-term chatter has legal eagles buzzing around the 22nd Amendment, and in France, Marine Le Pen's out of the 2027 race after EU funds embezzlement rap shook Paris. But the real headliner, Trump's Liberation Day. Tariffs drop tomorrow, April 2nd, and the markets are holding their breath. More on that in a second. Let's zoom in on Trump, because as of right now, 6:11 this morning, his latest moves are lighting up the wires. The tariffs countdown's got everybody on pins and needles. He's promised reciprocal duties on all countries. Specifics to be determined, but whispers of a 25% auto tariff are floating. Yesterday aboard Air Force One, he doubled down. You'd start with all countries, so let's see what happens. The S&P 500 took a 1.7% dip yesterday morning before clawing back. Economists are warning of sticker shock, like $4,700 increase per car. Then there's his third-term tease. Sunday's NBC interview had him saying he's not joking, hinting at methods to sidestep the Constitution. Though experts call it a pipe dream, needing 2/3 of Congress. Kid Rock was at the White House yesterday for that scalping executive order. Niche, but Trump spinning it as a consumer win. And on foreign policy, he's pissed off with Putin over the Ukraine delays, threatening Russian oil tariffs and warning Iran with bombs if they don't get in line. The guy's keeping the world and your wallet guessing. Now Elon Musk is in the mix. At 6:12 this morning, his orbit's buzzing with Trump ties and beyond. Trump's tariffs plan a double-edged sword for Tesla. Yesterday, he claimed it's net neutral or good for Musk's U.S.-made cars, but Musk's X hit late last night. Tesla is not unscathed, and tariff impacts still significant due to imported parts. Tesla's stock is off 5% since Friday after 200-plus Tesla takedown protests turned ugly, arson, vandalism, and Musk calling the culprits psychos. Sales are tanking in Germany, down 75% last month. Woo! Tied to his political links. Meanwhile, Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, Doge gig with Trump heating up. Yesterday, Kid Rock event had Trump praising Patriot Elon, but rumors say he might ditch Doge by May after slashing $1 trillion. I'll tell you what, that really hit me yesterday when I heard that. End of May, he's talking about Trump and him are talking about Elon leaving and being done. Doesn't sound good to me, guys. Doesn't sound good to me at all. Social Security is a sore spot. Trump allies want Musk muzzled after his Fox News swipe. Sunday clash with the Trump's hands-off vow. Beyond that, Musk's facing legal heat. A judge nixed his Twitter stake fraud defense Friday, and he's dumped $20 million on Wisconsin, the Supreme Court race. We'll see how that plays out. Oh, and the SpaceX V3 Starship, Musk targeting weekly launches in a year, 100 tons in orbit. Wild man, wild money. I'll tell you what, this guy has really left his mark on the world. It is really something to watch. He is an amazing guy. There's no doubt about that. Let me see here. I should have sent my link here to my good man, but it didn't go through. I don't know why it didn't go through. Why didn't that go through? Let me send it again. Try again. Sending my link for my wonderful partner here to join the show and didn't go through. So let me just send it another way here and get that over to him because he's going to join the show momentarily. That's the great Matt Dixon with the Market Watch Report. There we go. That time it went through. I don't know why it didn't go through on my computer. You know these things. What's Liberation Day all about? Trump's hyping tomorrow, April 2nd, as the tariffs roll out. Think tit for tat duties matching what others charge us. A bid to slash 1.2 trillion trade deficit and juice U.S. factories. Yesterday's buzz pegs it for a Rose Garden presser. Trump's first of term 2, where he's hinting at hitting all countries, but teased lenient tweaks. So that's kind of interesting, right? And that's what I've told everybody. Trump's not going to hit 25% tariffs on everybody. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe he was. I've been surprised by Trump before. That's for sure. But that, he's teasing lenient tweaks. So we'll see how that is. Treasuries, Scott Bessent once flagged 15% of nations, the dirty 15 like China and Mexico, but it's still a coin toss. Goldman Sachs says GDP could crater to 0.6 this quarter. Jobs might bleed 300,000 and prices could soar. 600 billion in revenue is the upside, but critics call it a consumer tax. Canada, China, and the EU are prepping counterpunches. Markets are a roller coaster, and tomorrow is the ride's peak. Futures markets at 6:15 a.m. Dow's at 42,202, down about 1.13%, implying an 81.93 point drop at open. S&P 500's at 5655, up 1.75 or 0.03%, barely above fair value. Flat as a pancake. Nasdaq's at 19,475, up 39.20%, hinting at a 25.05 point tech bump. Yesterday's close was a split. Dow up 417 points. S&P up 30.91 points. NASDAQ down 23.70. And overnight softened the mood. Trump's tariffs are the puppet master, and the VIX hit 22.28 yesterday. Fears in the air. Today's a holding pattern. Dow might open down 80. S&P flat. NASDAQ up a hair, but expect swings. Tomorrow, broad tariffs could take the Dow below 41,500. A soft landing might push S&P to 5,700. Weeks ahead, Friday's jobs, and Fed Powell could tip the scales. Weak data drags strong data boyos, but trade war 2.0 is the wild card. Asian markets, Taiwan's leading at 21,280, up 584, or 2.8%. Tex King with TSMC. The Kospi is at 2521, up 40 points at 1.62%. And ASX 200s is at 7925, up 81 or 1%. It's showing bounce back grit. The rest of the markets in Asia are pretty much falling. Tariffs dread is the driver. China's Taiwan drills spook, but U.S. rallies lift some. Today's choppy. Taiwan might hold. The Nikkei style. Tomorrow, 25% tariffs could sink the Nikkei. 3 to 5%. A China-only hit lifts the ASX. Weeks out, trade wars slam reports. Taiwan could shine if tech holds. Currencies, the Japanese yen is down 0.2%. Of course, that was up yesterday. The yen is flexing as a haven. The euro is also down. The AUD is up. The NZD is up slightly. And of course, tariffs are in the air. Tomorrow's broad tariffs push with the US dollar and Japan could make it slide more to 152. We'll have to see. Oil is up slightly at 71.6, up above $70 again, but demand is shaky. Natural gas is at $4, which is down about 1%. I think the Houthis, I know people don't talk about it, but the Houthis, I think, have a lot to do with that because they move a lot of that natural gas there in the Red Sea. I don't know why nobody ever talks about that, but that is true. The DXY is at 104.06, down 0.15% after an overnight blip went up. We'll see how that plays out. Yesterday's rally faded. Tariffs and ambiguity rules. Today, 103.8 to 104.20. Tomorrow, broad tariffs lift to 105 to 106. Targeted dips to 103. We'll see. Gold's at 2660, folks. Big moves. Hold on a second here. That's not right. Yeah, 3160. Gold's at 3160. Up about 1/3%. Silver's at 34.76, really performing well over this last bit. I mean, it is really performing well. Since we started really pushing gold and silver, that is, it has done really well. People are looking for safe havens. They're looking for safe havens, places to put their money. Crypto's wild. Bitcoin's at 84,282 as I put this together. Let me just check and see how that is doing at the moment. 84,474, almost the same. ETH is at 1883. XRP is at 218, plus 2% on that. Stable coins like USDT have massive volume, 58 billion in volume. Cash is parked. Fartcoin up 35% on the weekly. Meme madness. Today's Bitcoin test 85. Tomorrow, broad tariffs push to 88. I don't know. We'll see. Targeted 82. AI is on fire. AXI bought X for 33 billion. CoreWeave's IPO looms. Google's Isomorphic Labs got Thrive Cash Sunday, and AI is hitting 99 on cancer detection. OpenAI raised something like 30 billion or 40 billion in its round just recently. AI is just on fire. China's training leap adds heat. Today, tech steady. Tomorrow, tariffs could juice AI stocks 5 to 10%. We'll see. Robotics, the Tesla's Optimus is live. U.S. giants want a strategy. CoreWeave's IPO ties in. Mercedes deploys bots and 2 billion startups on hype. Today's wobbly. Tomorrow's tariffs could lift Tesla 5 to 10%. We'll see. Longevity is hot. 117-year-old is the new target. AI diagnostics in Malaysia. Lifestyle beats genes. I'm trying to live to at least 120. Health tech's quiet today. Tomorrow the tariffs could push things. We'll see how that works out. The Ukraine war is on day 1131. Russia's drones hit Dnipro. 4 are dead. Trump is upset. Putin's moving 160,000 troops for a Belgorod push. And the minerals deal is stalled. We'll see how that works out. Putin is doubling down. Tariffs have upset him, it seems. The drones escalate. And, of course, he has more rare earth than Ukraine by a lot. So we'll see how that goes. I think the two guys are kind of, from afar negotiating, let's say. Israel and Palestine, the Gaza drones hit 15 aid workers, Israel drones, 15 aid workers that are dead. This guy Smodich cheers Trump's cleansing plan, and the West Bank's displaced 40,000. Well, way more than that. The UN cries genocides, protests rage. We'll have to see how that plays out. So DC's 48 degrees feels calm, but tomorrow's Liberation Day could freeze or fries your money. Will Trump free the markets or chain us to a trade war? Stay tuned. I have with me here the great Matt Dixon with the Market Watch Report. Sir Matt, how are you?
Hey, good morning, Bruce. How are you doing? Yep, been an interesting day. April the 1st, of course. I was taken for it this morning when I heard news that Trump had cancelled all his tariffs and the market was rallying, Bitcoin was rallying. So, they had me on the hook for a while.
No way. Yeah, I mean, we did have kind of, we are at a bit of a rally. Coin is really just, I know you brought that one to attention everybody. That one's really performed well. I do think we kind of have
Yeah, been amazing, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. Pretty impressive. Making me wish I dove in there, but it could go lower. I don't know. We'll see.
Anyway, sharing my screen. I hope you can see that.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd start with Bitcoin. This is just the 1 hour chart. We've seen this before about basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not an Elliott wave count, those numbers in red there, up to number 7. It's just to show you that from the low that we had, it's a corrective move higher. 7 waves are corrective, and these are, I don't know why the first wave isn't in there. I'll just put it in just to show you the first wave up to there. And it was in red, wasn't it? Oops, with no background. Might as well get it right. So we've got there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So obviously each successive high is a higher high. So we can see this wave 1, 3 is a higher high, 5 is a higher high, 7 is a higher high. And then the corrective waves here, wave 2 is basically a higher low than the start, and then wave 4 is a higher low than wave 2, and then wave 6 is a higher low. So these are proper waves. There's no fudging this. 7 waves higher. 7 waves, as I say, are corrective. That tells me that we've got more downside to go for Bitcoin. So we might wonder where Bitcoin's going, but I'm confident that what we have is basically the beginnings of an impulse down in probably a C wave. So we've got an A wave down, B wave higher, working on a C wave down. That's to finish. We'll look at it in a larger scale in a minute. That's just to get towards the end of the correction, because this is a correction overall. And I do believe we're going to push to new all-time highs in the not too distant future. But before that happens, I think we've got more lows to come. So right now we have some hidden bearish divergence. So you can see here, this is just the 1 hour chart. So it's very sensitive, but we can see here, we've got lower highs on the price and we've got corresponding higher highs on RSI. And that tells us that we have hidden bearish divergence. And that tells you that there's likely to be a continuation of this downtrend in prices. So we've had a good little rally today. Not quite sure what that's based off. Often it's, calm before the storm, possibly with the tariff news coming out. You mentioned some tariff news tomorrow. So possibly calm before the storm. Maybe we're going to get a more powerful move down. So I think from the top, we've had wave 1, 2. I think that's a wave 3. It's actually 2.618 times this wave 1. That's a beautiful Fibonacci relationship, absolutely spot on there. And then we've got an A, a B, and a C. So an expanded correction here to give us a wave 4, and then I think we're going to get a wave 5. Then we should get a bit of a pullback then before the next move down. So nothing ever moves in a straight line unless we're in real market panic, a market crash or something like that. But otherwise, we tend to get pullbacks along the way. So whilst I think in general we're heading lower for the time being, there is certainly going to be some corrections to the upside as we're experiencing today. So I think that's probably almost over, this move higher. And this hidden bearish divergence would tell you probably it's almost over, but we await a bearish candlestick to confirm the turn. So I don't, as I said yesterday, I'm not shorting anything at the moment. But if you are someone with a high risk tolerance, and you wanted to short, I wouldn't short until I see some candlestick confirmation that this has turned. At the moment, we have hidden bearish divergence, but you need to wait until you actually see some bearish candlesticks before you potentially sell with, you'd have to put a stop loss on it, because selling short, the risk is infinite. So you'd want to have a stop loss probably above this long-term trend line, the green line here. You'd probably want a stop loss somewhere there with potential quite a bit of downside. And I mentioned yesterday, I think, and I certainly mentioned it on my X feed this morning, that the line on the sand, in fact, I did mention yesterday, line in the sand is 69,000 for Bitcoin. That's the previous high that we had. I'll just go onto the daily to show it. If you remember, we had a previous all-time high which held for a long time back here. Back in November 21, we had a high there of 69,000 for Bitcoin, and then we plummeted all the way down. The FTX low was with all FTX debacle. We had 15,500 for Bitcoin. Then we've been climbing really nicely in 5 waves to the upside, and I think this is a correction, and I don't think the correction's over yet. So I think we've had the A wave. If you remember, the chart we just showed a few moments ago was the B wave higher, and I still think there's a C wave down, but I don't think that we'll pierce this dotted line. I hope we don't, because if we do, longer term, that's actually potentially a lot more bearish. So if we can stay above this line, it's a good risk reward. We can trade it to the upside with a limited risk for downside movement. If it does go down, it'll be a small loss, but if it goes up, tremendous gains to be had there potentially. So that's where I'm looking with Bitcoin at the moment. I wanted to look as well relating to Bitcoin. I found this from I can't remember his name now, Sid, somebody who does does Elliott Wave. He also does Hurst analysis. Hurst analysis looks at cycles, but he highlighted Michael Saylor's buys, with MicroStrategy, or Strategy as it's now known. Looking at his buys along the way for Bitcoin. So each of these green arrows represents a buy, a strategy buy here, a Bitcoin buy. So you can see, actually, it's a shame I put the time scale off, but anyway, he started off with 226,000 Bitcoin buy, 244,000, 252,000. So those are obviously really nicely in profit, 279,000. Now he's had a lot of buys here, but what's interesting is the market hasn't really responded particularly positively, despite these massive buys, the massive holding he's now built up in Bitcoin. Now, this is worrying. Either the guy's an absolute genius and he's going to make an awful lot of money out of it when the market rallies to the upside, and what is often the case, the market will correct, because when they see somebody who's heavily exposed like this, and it's very clear, you can see it on the blockchain exactly what buys there are, what the holdings are. When the market sees somebody who's so heavily exposed like this, they often punish them and possibly cause a sell-off, just to cause these positions to liquidate and basically collect some easy money. Now, that happened a few years ago. In fact, it was many years ago now, with Nick Leeson. You might remember the name, associated with Barings Bank. So Barings Bank was a multi-billion-dollar corporation. I think it was a Dutch corporation, fund manager. And anyway, they were basically sold off for $1 or £1. I think it's £1 actually, because he basically crashed it, and he basically bet against the market. And admittedly, there was fraud involved there. He was covering up losses. But even so, the market knew that somebody had these big positions against the market. And so eventually the market just punished him. And, the price went down. He was liquidated. Barings was bust. And, when we say bust, bought for £1. And that was that story. And the similar thing may be lining up here, because all these buys which are clearing the market, they've not actually produced a massive appreciation in price. In fact, virtually no appreciation.
Actually, it's like there were some of those when I went short, and it was like you could really just see as it tipped, he bought, and it tipped, and then it just it crashed so hard afterwards.
Yeah. I'm definitely one for buying dips and dollar cost averaging, and you could call this buying dips and dollar cost averaging potentially, although it's actually buying pretty much the highs, not a long way off the highs here. But the thing is, it's on borrowed money effectively, and money that's been raised. It's risky. When I'm doing it, you should be doing this buying dips and dollar cost averaging with money you can just afford to lock up for an indefinite length of time, and just wait for eventually when the market goes up. And we believe at the moment that the market will head higher, and we should at least see one more all-time high, I believe, for Bitcoin, somewhere well above where we previously peaked at 109,000.
Yep.
It's got here 108,000 something. So around that level. So I think we will see higher, but there must be a big temptation as well, maybe possibly for him to liquidate. Maybe he's waiting for the all-time high. Maybe he will liquidate, even though he said he won't. You really can't trust somebody just their word that they say they're not going to liquidate. If the market does push higher, there could be a massive temptation to liquidate, take profits, and he would be an absolute hero in terms of profit made for his investors, but it could absolutely tank the market potentially. So that's the risk. You can see all the buys there from one person, very exposed in the market. It's a risk. Looking at oil, you mentioned oil. It's been quite interesting. This is the daily chart. So I'll just scroll out a little bit there. It's what we expected. We actually predicted it in advance, and we labeled this triangle. Wave E is the wave that can undershoot the trend lines of the triangle, and it undershot a little bit. And actually, what we got was support here. The previous low level support acted perfectly as support, and the price bounced. And that was, again, another prediction that we made and said that the market may actually bounce off this support level here. That was a strong level of support. So it bounced from $65. It's now $71. So that's roughly 10% higher, about 10% higher than it was. So that's a reasonable move up. And I think it's based on a lot of things. It's based on the tariffs. It's based on geopolitical tensions, which Bruce mentioned earlier. There's a lot going on with Yemen, with the Houthis, and Israel are basically threatening to really pound Yemen.
And I mean, it's like it's crazy, man. We're gonna bomb it, and we're gonna bomb it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, certainly Ron Paul came out on his X yesterday, I think, and it was like, well, that didn't take long. Like, we elected this guy, and he's supposed to stop the wars and not get any new wars, and we're bombing Yemen, and we're cleansing Gaza, and now we're threatening to bomb Iran, and I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy, man.
That's why this morning when I heard that he'd rescinded his tariffs, I mean, it wasn't.
You're like, oh well, I'm not surprised. This could totally be true.
Because this guy is absolutely erratic, to say the least.
Well, I do think I actually think, because he's hinted towards some leniency things, and I think that's going to happen. That's what I've been telling people. He's not going to put a 25% tariff on cars. I mean, I could be totally wrong. I mean, I don't know. It's his style. He goes way over here and then he moves it back. So, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, the markets hate it, but who knows? The markets hate uncertainty. Yeah. So who knows? Because it just means you can't plan for the future. And corporate future and everything is all about planning properly, being able to plan, being able to look at policies, look at interest rates, and see some stability there, and try to make plans for the future, for future growth, borrowings, etc. And that's very, very difficult when somebody's got such an erratic economic policy. It makes it very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've had a nice rally on Ethereum. Again, I think it's pretty much the same as Bitcoin. I still think we've got lower to go. We didn't actually... let's just see. We did just take out that we actually equaled. Again, that's quite interesting. It's quite good, these levels of support. We looked at oil a minute ago and looked at the support. We can just put a support line in here. I'll just put a horizontal ray to show you. The previous low was about there. You can see price just touched there yesterday. So that was a clear, at least temporary level of support. So that was a good risk reward area. Doesn't mean you hold your position forever, but you could already protect your profit in a small guarantee. Well, yeah, you moved into profit now. You could protect a small guaranteed profit now by moving your stop loss into a profit position. Then if the price goes much higher, fine. And if it doesn't, you're guaranteed a profit. I suspect that we are going to head lower. I really do believe we are. I mean, this movement higher here was a clear consolidation, like all those previous consolidations that we labeled in this circle area, these circle areas. That was a clear consolidation. And the movement down appears to be impulsive, very much in one direction without real overlapping at all. And we're moving up probably in a wave 2. If I just go on to the 1 hour, we might just see that a bit more clearly. Yeah, it doesn't show. I'll just have to expand it a bit just to try and show us. But we can see the movement here. These waves are very much overlapping. So the movement up here, obviously got a pull down here, movement up, pull down to below that peak there. Then the movement up here, and then the movement down here still overlap that movement up. So this is clearly overlapping. It is not impulsive movement. That tells me this is a corrective move to the upside, probably an X wave, which is a very typical corrective wave. Like a B wave, it's very zigzag, very overlapping, very sideways kind of action. And in contrast, we can see this movement down here, there's no overlapping. So for example, this move here, you get a movement up, then the next move down, the movement up doesn't overlap that previous movement down, and so on. So there isn't any overlapping. It's more directional. We can see it's a much steeper movement down without overlapping. So that's more of a wave 1 or wave A type move to the downside, and then we're moving up correctively, and I think we will soon get a further movement down, as I've got labeled here, direction to the downside, to complete an A wave, and then we'll get a B wave and a C wave down. So that should end then the correction for Ethereum and for a lot of the other assets. So once this correction is eventually over, and it could drag on for another month or so, who knows, it could really drag on a bit longer, but once it's over, I will then be looking to dollar cost average to buy into the market, to buy those dips, and to look for some real potential upside. I'm just saying my time is limited today. I've only got a couple more minutes, so we'll touch very briefly on the S&P. Again, we expected movement higher, so we've had the A wave down. If I just maybe scroll out to 4 hour. So we can see where it started from the all-time high there. We've had an A wave down, a B wave up, and then the C wave should be made up of 5 waves. So I've already got it labeled. That's actually 5 waves down for wave 1, 5 internal waves there. Then wave 2, we're looking maybe a bit more upside. Then we'll get wave 3, 4, 5. That should be a C wave, a completed 5 wave of a C wave. And then we can push higher to new all-time highs again. It could be, the most likely is this 100% extension to 5,188, I think, for the S&P 500, but we could potentially extend further. At the moment, it's looking like an ABC correction, so we should push to new all-time highs once again. And then just very finally, we'll just touch on gold if I can find it. There we are, gold. Really nice new all-time highs again. It's
really
keeps
impressive
pushing higher at the moment. So we've got, I did mention yesterday actually that this is a 5th wave overall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 5th wave of the 5th wave is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I also mentioned that the 5th wave with commodities like gold is often the extended wave. So the 5th wave can even extend quite a bit further, who knows. So as long as the 3rd wave isn't the shortest, which clearly it isn't here because wave 1 is shorter, wave 5 can potentially continue. And as I say, with gold, it's a signature, it's a hallmark of gold that it's often the 5th wave that extends. So we could see, you know, we don't know how much higher, but we could see higher on gold. But then once that's complete, we'll get a correction to the downside, which would be an opportunity to dollar cost average, and then we should push higher yet again. So I'm going to have to finish there for today. Hope it's helpful. And look forward to catching up tomorrow. And as you mentioned, by the way, non-farm payrolls Friday is going to be a big market mover. I know we're not there yet, but we've got to be thinking ahead as to what's going to move the market. So thanks for listening, everybody. Thank you, Bruce, and look forward to catching up soon.
Thank you, Matt. It is always a pleasure.
Great stuff.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Great Matt Dixon with the Market Watch Report. World-class analysis that we give on the Impact Money Show every day. It is an absolute pleasure to work with my main man there, Matt Dixon. Of course, I'll be seeing him in person. It's been a little while. It's been a few months at least since we've seen each other. Been a little while. When was the last time I was in Dubai? A few months ago. That's right. We did the show live from whatever that nice hotel was there out on the Palm. I forget what it was. Anyway, fun. So we'll be back in Dubai for the Global Family Office Investment Summit. That's May 6th through 7th. So here's how the next little bit is lining up for us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of really fun things lined up. So it's April 1st. We have the April schedule is actually a little bit still in flux, but May, because we have a number of things going on in April, so I'm not going to touch April right now, actually. But May 6 through 7 will be in Dubai. We'll probably go there a little bit earlier, okay? And then we have the Wall Street conference, which actually it's really interesting. I'm not really supposed to talk about this Wall Street conference. It's like so high end that they don't want anybody advertising it. So that's all I'll say is it's this Wall Street conference. So we have this Wall Street conference, which we're partnered with. And then we have Bitcoin Palooza Las Vegas, which is going to be a lot of fun. So Bitcoin Palooza Las Vegas is during Bitcoin 2025. All right. So that's the big one. Bitcoin Miami, Bitcoin Nashville. Trump spoke at that last year, right? So this year, Bitcoin 2025 is in Las Vegas. And it's, very fitting place. Of course, everybody wants to be there. Super excited about it. Putting together sponsorship packages. I've already put together the sponsorship packages. Putting together the sponsors for the event. Now, Bitcoin Palooza will be on May 27th. That's the next Bitcoin Palooza. We are expecting, and the venue holds over 1,500 people at a time. So we are expecting quite a few people to show up. Of course, we had over 1,100 people that registered for Bitcoin Palooza in New York City. And there was a lot going on that night. There's a lot going on. They had big parties, multiple VIP dinners and everything like that. So we're expecting a really amazing event. We're lining up some hot acts. Of course, I'll be singing my song that we played at the very beginning, my Rothschild's tax song. The thing about music is that it provides a way. I get up every morning, of course, 5 a.m. every morning. We do this show. I do it at 5 a.m. for a number of reasons. One, as you guys probably know if you watch the show, I like to get it done before I take my kids to school and everything like that, right? So that's one thing, all right? I get to get it in here. But there's other reasoning behind it. The other reasoning behind it is it's 11 a.m. or 12 noon, depending on how our daylight savings times goes in London. And it's 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. over in the Middle East. So we are able to reach a broad audience, not only here in the U.S., where people are getting up for work and then they can replay it and everything else, but we're able to hit the markets live and the people live early over in Europe, early-ish, or at least around lunchtime, and then just early afternoon over in the Middle East. And even Asia, it's still fairly early too. So it's one of the reasons we do it. Speaking of this worldwide market, though, Bitcoin Palooza and Bitcoin 2025 is really going to be something else. My gut is, okay, as much as, we may complain, we're watching the markets a little bit, and we may kind of complain about this push and pull of the markets and the tariffs and everything else and how they're affecting stuff. I think my gut tells me, I hope, that this is going to play out okay, that these tariffs are going to be highly profitable for us, and that Trump's going to be able to stay alive. I mean, very frankly, because, of course, very real possibility that they get him. But these tariffs are going to play out. We're going to have reciprocal tariffs. People are going to stop charging the heck out of us. And these deals that I was around early enough to remember when Clinton put these deals in, okay? It was Clinton who did all these, and he just he opened the gates for everybody, and then it became so much cheaper to buy everything from everywhere else. And then those countries ended up putting massive tariffs, or many of those countries ended up putting massive tariffs on our goods. And then it just didn't make sense to produce anything here. And so probably you did too. We all did it, right? We imported whatever we needed at a very low cost, and then we kind of put things together. Now, the fallout of that is that we have hardly any manufacturing here, right? And all of our cars are foreign cars, and our clothes are foreign clothes, and all these types of things. It's like cheap thrills. It's good. It's good, and it's cheap for a little while, but in the long run, you end up losing all your money, and that's really what's kind of happened to us, right? We lost a lot of our money and our wealth. So we are going to be doing a number of different interviews. We're going to be doing interviews that are showcasing people that are speaking at the Bitcoin 2025 conference. Everything is basically for in here. I'm not Gams, even the people. Well, you're right. And I know a lot of people get upset about that. And there's really nothing more you can say too much about it, except that that's what we got, folks. That is what we have. But yeah, it's true. You go to New York City, people complain about, they look at this little clip of Paris or this little clip of this place and that place. Oh, look at how bad it is. Like, have you been to New York City lately? Because that's an eye opener. I'll tell you what. You want to walk around New York City packing a little bit of heat. I mean, not all the time. I mean, the truth is, it's really fine for the most part. It's really fine. And that was actually one of my friends from Toronto. He says, Bruce, everybody's complaining about how bad it is in Canada and how everybody, it's so horrible and this and that. And the other. He goes, is it really that bad? He's, I'm living here. He's like, it's nice. We're having a great time. Toronto's a great city. Toronto's a lot of fun. Toronto is great. Montreal is even better. So when I was 19, I was training at the Olympic Center there. Of course, in former life, I was an ice skater, right? And I was training at the Olympic Center there in Lake Placid, New York. Beautiful place, a lot of fun. And I was like 19 years old, so we would go up to Montreal because we could drink in Montreal. French girls are real pretty there. Anyway, a lot of fun. Montreal is a lot of fun. But to that point, we're going to be doing a lot of interviews coming up. Probably starting tomorrow. I had an interview I was going to play today, but it was a little bit. The guy says just wait on it. Let's do another one, which already was funny. But we're going to showcase people that are sponsoring and speaking and supporting Bitcoin 2025. We're going to be showcasing the people that are involved in Bitcoin Palooza, which will be on May 27th in Las Vegas. We're going to be showcasing people that are speaking and sponsoring the Global Family Office Investment Summit in Dubai, and of course, the Wall Street conference that I mentioned too. So we'll have a lot of stuff coming up with that, and we're looking forward to it. Today, I think that I'm going to play another little bit here from the. Here we go. Bitcoin Palooza Live. I'm going to play another little clip here from the Bitcoin Palooza Live because this was really just a cool event. And we get to see it here. Here we go. Bitcoin Palooza.
The Liberland dollar to Solana. And now,
this is one of the panels here.
I said everything's going to be tokenized a decade ago. Larry Fink says the last year, now we're moving, so that's a good thing. If you look at how we position DLMI, I don't know how old school you can go back.
Right here at the
you
beginning.
can bridge it to Ethereum. You can
This
bridge
is Thomas
the
Walls.
dollar to Solana. And now, as of this week, you can bridge it to Tron, which is
Foreign Minister of Liberland.
networks in the entire world. So I encourage you to check it out more. Go to liberland.org, and we have a section that explains how our blockchain works, how you can get involved in it, how you can buy and sell it, and maybe even make something for yourself. So check it out, .org.
There you go, guys. Get them ahead.
So, people can get involved in a lot of different ways, depending on where you are. Right? If you're just learning about the space, you want to kind of get introduced. Over 100 videos on
Audio
the
on
website.
Gerard. He's not speaking to the microphone, so I'm
Really encourage our professionals.
forced to skip over him.
We do assessments of
is attracting some.
Demetrios, very impressive guy here. We'll pick up with him. He's finishing up here. Gerard, my good man Gerard, just finishing up.
And that is GBAglobal.org, guys. Please, GBAglobal.org. Great that, Gerard.
I think in terms of the Bahrain Economic Development Board, one of the things that we've been quite successful at is attracting some of the crypto companies like Binance and Crypto.com have both set up in Bahrain in the last couple of years. And I think one of the reasons that they're coming to Bahrain and choosing GCC in terms of the expansions into the Middle East is that there's a lot of incentives. So in terms of the UAE, we're able to work closely with a sister organization, which we call Community, which means opportunity in Arabic. And so what we find is that we're able to really de-risk the expansion of foreign companies into the region by actually paying a very large majority of the salaries for the first 3 years. So if you're coming to Bahrain as a technology company and whether you're setting up a development team, a tech support team, we are able to pay about 75 to 50% of that salary up front for the first 3 years, which kind of de-risks basically de-risks the expansion into a region that probably a lot of foreign companies are not very comfortable with. So I think this is a quite good thing.
Amazing. And what is the website or how do you find you?
BahrainEDB.com.
Say it again.
BahrainEDB.com.
Bahrain?
EDB, Economic Development Board.
BahrainEDP.com.
Great finance review. And boards are vastly different. Is if you look at the board I've accumulated at DLMI and DiamondLakeMinerals.com is the website. I said everything's going to be tokenized a decade ago. Larry thinks since the last year now we're moving, so that's a good thing. If you look at how we position DLMI on how old school you can go back, if you remember General Electric back in the day, the parent umbrella, all these multiple industry agnostic companies and great projects and IP and products underneath it. For us, we're in hospitality, we're in music, IP, TV, film, and media. We're in precious minerals and real estate development. We're in across the board. Our board people, I hate saying names, so you probably know Anthony Scaramucci. He's a dear friend and colleague on our team. Raul Yell is the CEO of One Hotel, Baccarat Hotel, and Treehouse Resorts. Larry Namer, founder of E Hollywood TV. Marty Pompadour co-created Fox with Rupert Murdoch. Agnes Knudsen, who was the chief operating officer of BlackRock. Andrew Fromm, one of the top broker dealers of music and IP, selling catalogs around the world. So if you look at our board, you look at our team members, you'll see we're in so many different industries. And I personally believe that's the way that you move forward in a great movement in Web3 and interoperability. There's all great projects around the world that have these incredible blockchains and crypto tokens behind them, but they're siloed into their space. DLMI is this parent umbrella, and we're going to be in every possible space we can create value for our shareholders, create value for our token holders, and just create this machine of liquidity and opportunities for people. So thank you all.
Thank you. Any last words before we go?
Sugar Mouse in the house.
Yeah! Give it up for Sugar Mouse! Guys, nice, great host we have here.
Probably your favorite.
There you go.
It's a great question. Here's my own little quote. I say it all the time. Anybody can be an overnight success if you wake up each new day with a smarter, stronger, and wiser than you were the day before. Keep evolving, keep pushing this great industry forward. And the best way to do that, I personally believe, is do a lot of homework and pick really good companies and projects that are launching. The more of these nonsense bullshit ones, it just creates more problems and havoc into this industry. So take a moment, take a breath. I know it's exciting, but you really got to be very specific and really promote really good projects and opportunities.
Awesome, guys, give it up for our first panel at Bitcoin Palooza. These guys, the Titans. We have the Titans here that we started off with. Make sure you introduce yourself. Get to learn more about what they're doing. We're gonna have a song. We're gonna have a brief song here, and then we'll take our next panel. Thank you very much.
Hey Randy, I got another home run for us, man. This 2-bit exchange is absolutely amazing.
Hey Bruce, what's up, man? Yeah, why don't you tell me about that 2-bit exchange?
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to be able to list our coins that we want, that we support, and they're going to be on this amazing derivatives platform. It's absolutely awesome.
Derivatives? I love derivatives. I can't wait to be on the trade copy program.
So what I want you to do is set up an account and then send me your UID, and let's set you up with a trade copy system, and you just let it run. Copy our trades. That's it. Easy peasy.
So you want me to open an account, send you my user ID, and you hook me up with the trade copy system. I can't wait. Sounds spectacular.
Hey, Matt. Hey, listen, I met with the guys at 2-Bit Exchange while I was in Dubai, and this platform really looks amazing.
Yeah, hi Bruce. Yeah, thank you again for that heads up. I mean, I've looked into this 2-bit platform. It does appear to have everything we're looking for.
Yeah, that's right. 2-Bit, Toobit. They have great liquidity. They have futures platform. There's a lot of functionality that I think you're gonna like on there. And they really want to work with us. They want to work with the Impact Money Show. And as you and I both know, if they have a good product and they want to work with us, well, hey, that's half the battle.
I mean, basically, I love that copy trade facility. I love the features on the platform. It's basically very simple to use.
Our viewers only need to set it up to copy our trades, and they just do all the trades that we do. Makes it really easy for people to participate. I think they're going to love it. I'm pretty excited about it.
And yeah, it's definitely going to benefit people. I mean, obviously with all the years of experience that we can pack into it, and people can basically benefit from that. Yeah, I definitely think it's a goer.
Hey David, yeah man, I'm excited about it too. I mean, when you think of the ways that we can help our viewers earn money and be able to participate in the monetary revolution, this 2-bit platform just opens up all kinds of doors that they don't have right now.
Hey, Bruce, I'm checking out this platform. It's revolutionary.
That's absolutely correct. And the futures platform is amazing. Great liquidity. And the copy trader program, people are going to be able to make the trades exactly when we make them and make the money that we make. It's a win-win for everybody.
Open for U.S. customers, and you can deposit money with a credit or debit card. Doesn't get better than this.
Beautiful. And what do you think we should use as a referral code?
I think we should use Impact Money. That's the one. Impact Money.